All right. So let's talk about transitioning. If you're doing this as a hobby, how are you going to transition this into a business and doing that? So we started it as a hobby, pretty much. We thought about it, that it was going to be a business. We had that mindset. And I think you need to go in that mindset, even if you are going hobbyist, that you're going to turn into business if that's what you want to do. But we started very simple with, racks from a restaurant that weren't the right sizes and lights hung off and everything else, but we got them cheap. So we didn't spend a lot of money. So when you're first starting out, not doing a lot of money, I highly recommend that. Get as lean as you possibly can, but still having good quality products. We still bought bootstrap trays. We still bought good soil. We still bought good seeds, the stuff that matters. The rack doesn't matter, just as long as you have a place to grow them and start. You can even start on wood pallets and, make a rack out of that, whatever you need to do. Andy, did you start lean or did you start just right out of the gate, full flesh?
Yeah, we started lean obviously, and just in the fact that we didn't need much, but we
Yeah.
went straight to like NSF rated stainless steel,
Yeah.
racks and the whole nine, and got good lights and everything right off the bat. But it was only one rack's worth, so it wasn't terribly bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, we started out kind of light. We just got what we needed to get started essentially, and kind of let the business build itself.
And then take that money you get from the business, from your hobby or whatever you're turning it
Yep.
to, and turn that back into the business, right? That's what you
Yeah.
did as well. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. It's exactly what we did. We just took the profits and turned them right around and bought more equipment. And seems like that's a never ending thing when you just keep having to add more stuff to your farm, but you eventually catch up and get ahead, which is nice.
Yes. Eventually. But
Yep.
yeah, I think we spent $500 in the very beginning. You can easily start this business with $500, buy a few trays, buy some soil, a bag of soil, some seeds, and get some racks for $100 even. If you're buying a brand new rack, you can find it for about $80 to $120, depending on where you're at. So you can get it in very cheaply. The lights aren't very expensive anymore. They're cheaper now than what they were when we started. So you can
Yeah.
find some good quality lights cheap. So it doesn't cost a ton to get started. Would you agree?
Yeah. Yeah. And I will tell you, the one thing that we skimped on in the beginning was trays, and that was a mistake.
Yeah.
Because we ended up tossing a lot of them right off the bat. So, go to Bootstrap Farmer, buy once, cry once, as I always say. They're well
Yes.
worth the money. Their trays are going to be significantly better than the junky ones you get on Amazon,
Yep.
for sure. So spend the money there for sure. If you're gonna buy something expensive, make it the trays, because those will last you for years and years.
Yep.
Definitely worth it.
And with Bootstrap, I'll commend them. Like we had probably 5 trays that broke within the first year. Might have been our fault. Might have been their fault. Just little chips out of them where you couldn't fill them with water anymore. The solid trays. Called them, told them there was 5 trays. They sent us 10 trays. They sent us a pack of 10. So they went above and beyond what they had to. But in
Yeah.
the 3+ years we've been in business, that's the only 5 trays that we've had issues with. We have
Yep. Yep.
probably 1,500 trays, somewhere in that range with all the trays, the inserts and everything. So that's pretty good. 5 trays out of 1,500.
Yeah.
That's a good method. Have you had any
Yeah.
issues
I,
with
I
them?
think we're about No, I think we're about the same. I think we've got maybe six at the most that we've and it's usually on us because our dishwasher will be jamming them in there a little bit too hard and we'll end up snapping one of them. But I will say, ever since they started manufacturing them in the US, we
Mm,
haven't had a single one of those break. It's all the
nope.
old ones that we've had for almost 4 years now.
Yep.
That have been washed and bleached and Xeritol for a million times back when we first started and we weren't using Xeritol and we were bleaching everything, and that probably didn't help. I'm sure that changed the chemistry of the plastic a little bit potentially.
Yeah.
So now we don't use that anymore, obviously, which is
Yep.
nice. But yeah, I think it was just a problem on our side. But most of them almost all of the original ones we still have are still fully functional. So, and what we did for a while until we started developing the soil press is we would just use the broken trays as soil presses, essentially, which worked out great. So,
Awesome.
but even when I reached out to them about making the food safe soil press that we're working on, they sent me 2 trays to play around with because we didn't own any deep trays at the time, and I wanted to make sure it sat in the deep trays
Yeah.
okay. And they mailed me one without even asking questions, so which was cool. Didn't make me pay for it or anything, which was
Yeah.
neat.
They're
So
good
they were all
people.
part of that development. Yeah, just a great company.
Yeah. Overall. Yeah. And you can pretty much talk to the people up in charge when you call them. I don't know who it is, but the guy seemed like he was in charge and he was on his cell phone that he answered the phone because nobody was in the call center at the time. So like, and he just sent us 10 trays. So yeah, that's pretty cool on them.
Yep.